So rich in ancient treasure is Egypt that, despite being an international archaeological site for 200 years, new things are still being unearthed. From mysterious tombs of forgotten queens to texts that whisper eerie secrets from the afterlife, every find adds another twist to history. Just when we think we've seen it all, Egypt reminds us that it's still holding plenty of secrets. Here are 15 things they discovered in Egypt that shocked the whole world. Let's start this countdown with number 15, Abydos. Abydos is one of Egypt's most sacred and mysterious sites, but some believe it holds an even deeper secret, one that defies conventional archaeology. At the heart of these theories is the Osirian, an enigmatic temple complex dedicated to Osiris, the god of the underworld. Unlike typical Egyptian temples, the Osirian features massive granite blocks, some weighing over 100 tons, arranged in an unusual megalithic style. But it's the unidentified carvings on its walls that fuel speculation. Unlike traditional hieroglyphs, these intricate symbols have no known parallels in Egyptian art. Some researchers believe they may encode esoteric knowledge, potentially linked to interdimensional travel. The theory that the Osirian wasn't just a temple, but an ancient stargate, a spiritual or even technological portal between worlds. Some scholars dismiss the idea as myth, arguing the Osirian was built as a symbolic representation of the underworld rather than a gateway. Still, it's a typical architecture, mysterious carvings, and abrupt shifts in construction style continue to baffle archaeologists, leaving the possibility open that Abydos holds secrets far beyond our understanding. Number 14. The buried skeleton hands. In the ruins of an ancient palace at Avaris, archaeologists uncovered a scene straight out of a war ritual: 16 severed right hands buried in 4 pits. No arms, no bodies, just hands. And all of their right hand. Ancient texts long described a brutal military practice. Soldiers would cut off the right hands of defeated enemies and present them to the king in exchange for gold. Symbolically, the act stripped their enemies of power, both in life and in the afterlife. The pits were strategically located, 2 directly by the throne room, each containing a single hand, likely from high-value captives. The other 14 were buried further into the courtyard. Analysis shows the hands belonged to adult males, all healthy before death. Cut marks indicate they were severed while soft tissue was still attached, possibly right after death in battle. It's the first archaeological evidence of this ritualistic mutilation, offering raw insight into the violent expressions of dominance in ancient Egyptian warfare. Number 13. The Labyrinth of Hawara. Egypt never runs out of ways to keep archaeologists up at night, and the Labyrinth of Hawara is no exception. Built by Pharaoh Amenemhat III of the 12th dynasty, this site isn't just another pyramid, it's home to an ancient mystery that baffled historians for centuries. And trust us, it's much scarier than the movies. Known as the Black Pyramid for its dark, crumbling exterior, its real intrigue lies below the sands, an immense underground maze once thought to be a myth. Ancient writers like Herodotus claimed this labyrinth held 3,000 interconnected chambers, grand courts and secret corridors more impressive than even the pyramids themselves. For years it was dismissed as a legend, until 2008 when researchers finally confirmed its existence. Despite this, the lower chambers remain sealed, refusing to give up their secrets. Could they contain lost records, hidden treasures, or was it designed as a passage to the underworld? Whatever the answer, the Labyrinth of Hawara remains one of Egypt's greatest unsolved puzzles. Number 12. The discovery of In 2018, archaeologists uncovered a massive 4,200-year-old cemetery near the Giza pyramids, revealing over 800 tombs from Egypt's Middle Kingdom. And they're not for selling. Covering 37 acres, the site was used for over 300 years, with generations of families burying their dead in everything from simple stone pits to elaborate multi-room structures. It's kind of a trend, you can say. What makes this discovery remarkable is the insight it provides into Middle Kingdom burial customs. Some tombs feature engraved stelae marking graves, while others contain causeways leading east to the Nile, symbolizing the deceased's journey to the afterlife. Among the tombs were thousands of clay jars, filled with offerings meant to sustain the dead for eternity. Well, that is insane. This site also yielded exotic grave goods, like stone vases and figurines, reflecting Egypt's extensive trade networks. This vast cemetery is a window into an era of cultural and economic revival, shedding light on the period between Egypt's old and new kingdoms. Number 11. Electromagnetic properties of the Great Pyramid. We know about this. New research has revealed something wild. The Great Pyramid of Giza isn't just a monument, it might be an ancient energy concentrator. A team of German and Russian physicists discovered that under specific conditions, the pyramid channels electromagnetic energy into its internal chambers and beneath its base. Using simulations with radio waves, researchers found that the pyramid's structure, especially the king's chamber, can focus energy into distinct electromagnetic hotspots. The idea? The pyramid might have been more than a tomb. It could have been a device built to amplify and harness energy. Some even speculate it played a role in a forgotten ancient technology. Granite, used in the chamber, is a natural conductor, possibly boosting these effects. Obelisks placed nearby might have worked like ancient antennas. While mainstream science isn't ready to call this a power plant, the data is real, and it hints at a level of sophistication that goes way beyond ceremonial grandeur. Number 10. The mystery of Saqqara. Saqqara, Egypt's vast necropolis, holds one of the most puzzling ancient structures, the Serapeum. This underground complex contains 25 massive granite sarcophagi, each weighing around 7. For years, historians assumed these colossal boxes were meant for the mummified sacred Apis bulls. But here's the twist: no bull remains have ever been found. These sarcophagi are larger and heavier than those of many pharaohs, sparking speculation about their true purpose. Some theories suggest they might have been repositories for great treasures, while others believe they were used in mystery school initiations. And then there's the Saqqara bird, a delicate wooden artifact shaped like an airplane. Unlike actual birds, it has a vertical tail fin, a feature only found on modern aircraft. Was it just a coincidence, or did ancient Egyptians have knowledge of aerodynamics centuries ahead of their time? From massive coffins to mysterious artifacts, Saqqara continues to defy explanation, leaving more questions than answers. Number 9. The Rosetta Stone. Found in 1799 by French soldiers during a fort renovation near El Rashid, the Rosetta Stone wasn't just a slab, it was the key to unlocking an entire language. Carved in 1906 BCE, it contains the same decree in 3 scripts: Greek, Demotic, and Egyptian hieroglyphs. The Greek was easy to read, but the hieroglyphs had been a mystery for over 1,000 years. Using the known Greek text as a reference, scholars were finally able to crack the code of hieroglyphic writing. The stone itself praises 13-year-old Pharaoh Ptolemy, establishing his legitimacy. But the real story is what followed. This breakthrough revolutionized Egyptology. Suddenly, the silent walls of temples, tombs, and scrolls across Egypt could speak again. Today, the Rosetta Stone sits in the British Museum, drawing millions of eyes each year. But it also sits at the center of a heated debate about cultural ownership, as Egypt continues to fight for its return. Regardless, its legacy is undeniable. It gave ancient Egypt its voice back. Number 8. The world's oldest industrial-scale brewery. Ancient Egypt wasn't just about pyramids and pharaohs. It was also home to the world's first large-scale brewery. At Abydos, archaeologists uncovered a 5,000-year-old beer-making facility. Dating back to, this wasn't just a backyard brewing operation, it was industrial-scale production at a level never seen before. Covering over 20,000 square meters, the brewery consisted of 8 massive sections, each containing 40 enormous vats, where a mash of grain and water was heated. These vats, measuring 2.5 meters wide, had a 300-liter capacity. meaning each one could produce enough beer to fill 50 modern cans. In total, this brewery could churn out a staggering 9,600 liters per batch, enough to supply 15,000 people with a six-pack each. Beer wasn't just for fun. It was a daily staple and a sacred offering in Egyptian rituals. The Abydos brewery's sophisticated techniques, such as combining grains, fruit, and honey, show just how advanced their brewing knowledge was. Inscriptions at the site even contain the world's oldest written beer recipes, proving that while Egyptians didn't invent beer, they certainly perfected the art of brewing in the Bronze Age. Number 7. The Lost City of Aten. In 2021, archaeologists made one of Egypt's most stunning discoveries, the lost city of Aten, hidden beneath the sands of Luxor for over 3,000 years. This massive settlement, dating to the reign of Amenhotep III in the 14th century BCE, is one of the most intact ancient cities ever found. Spanning over 300 acres, Aten's walls, streets, and buildings remain remarkably well preserved. Archaeologists uncovered workshops, bakeries, administrative centers, and residential districts, still lined with everyday objects from pottery to tools, seemingly frozen in time. Gold artifacts, including rings, amulets, and coins bearing the faces of pharaohs, were found glinting beneath the sand. Aten was built as a grand imperial capital, reflecting Egypt's peak prosperity under Amenhotep. The city thrived under his son Akhenaten, the revolutionary pharaoh who later moved the capital to Amarna. Yet huge sections of Aten remain unexcavated, promising untold secrets of Egypt's golden age. What else lies beneath the sand? With every new discovery, the lost city of Aten rewrites history. Number 6. The Book of the Dead. The ancient Egyptians took the afterlife very seriously, so much so that they created detailed instruction manuals to help souls navigate the underworld. Among these texts, the Book of the Dead stands out as the most extensive. Dating back over 4,000 years, these scrolls contained nearly 200 chapters of spells, incantations, and maps to guide the deceased through the 12 gates of the underworld. Souls had to face judgment in the Hall of Two Truths, where their hearts were weighed against the feather of mind. If their heart was too heavy with sin, they were devoured by Ammit, a monstrous hybrid of a lion, hippo, and crocodile. Another funerary text, the Book of Two Ways, described two potential routes to the kingdom of Osiris, one across a treacherous landscape filled with demons and fire lakes, the other following Ra's journey through the sky. These texts reveal just how deeply Egyptians believed in a structured, perilous journey to the afterlife, proving death was just another adventure if you had the right guidebook. Number 5. The Geometric Tunnel beneath Osiris Magna. Beneath the Temple of Osiris Magna, near Egypt's northern coast, archaeologists discovered something jaw-dropping, a 1,300-meter-long tunnel carved with laser-like precision through bedrock. That's over 10 football fields in length. The tunnel stands just over 2 meters tall, aligned perfectly on an east-west axis, and carved through dense sandstone, a feat requiring unbelievable skill. Led by Kathleen Martinez, the team behind this find believes the tunnel could lead to the lost tomb of Cleopatra and Mark Antony. That theory remains unconfirmed, but the tunnel itself is already a masterpiece of ancient engineering. Its perfectly straight lines, smooth stonework, and enormous length defy expectations of what was possible in ancient construction. We still don't know the tunnel's full purpose, but its proximity to the Temple of Osiris suggests a deep religious significance. Could it lead to a burial chamber, a hidden temple? No one knows yet. What's certain is this: Egypt's underground still has secrets, and this one's not done talking. Number 4. The Tomb of Queen Khentkaus. In the necropolis of Abusir, archaeologists stumbled upon a royal tomb unlike any other, belonging to Queen Khentkaus III, a name virtually erased from history. Her lavishly built tomb includes inscriptions calling her both king's wife and mother of the king, identifying her as the wife of Pharaoh Neferid during Egypt's 5th dynasty, around 2400 BCE. Strangely, no ancient texts mention her. She doesn't appear in royal lineage lists or historical records. Yet her tomb tells another story, one of power, prestige, and high status. Inside were alabaster jars, fine pottery, and exotic items, suggesting she held serious influence. Her name also links her to two queens from the 4th dynasty, possibly as an attempt to connect herself to a royal bloodline. But without written history to fill in the gaps, she remains a mystery. Today, her tomb is the only clue we have. An opulent stone time capsule hinting at a powerful woman the ancient world somehow forgot. Number 3. Ancient walking whale fossils. Whales didn't always swim. In Egypt's western desert, scientists discovered fossilized remains of a whale that could still walk on land. Dating back 43 million years, this newly identified species, Phyomecitus anubis, is a missing link between land-dwelling mammals and today's ocean giants. Measuring about 4.5 meters long, Phyomecitus had a powerful jaw, sharp teeth, and 4 sturdy limbs. It could hunt in water but still walk on land, a rare evolutionary in-between. Named after the jackal-headed god Anubis, its skull and skeleton show both terrestrial strength and aquatic adaptation. Unlike modern whales, it still had functioning legs and could likely drag itself between rivers, marshes, or seas in Egypt's long-vanished Tethys coastline. This find didn't just add to the fossil record, it blew open the story of how whales became aquatic. In a desert now full of sand and silence, a walking whale once ruled both water and earth. Evolution doesn't get more cinematic than that. Number 2. The ancient meteorite jewelry. Well, now this is just crazy. We mean they were genius. Long before some humans mastered ironworking, the ancient Egyptians were crafting celestial jewelry. In 1911, archaeologists near the Giza necropolis unearthed something extraordinary: 5,000-year-old beads made from meteorites. These delicate tube-shaped ornaments weren't just decorative, they were cosmic artifacts, forged from iron that fell from the sky. A technical analysis of the beads confirmed they contained 10% nickel, a signature of meteoritic iron. Even more mind-blowing, they displayed Widmanstätten patterns, crystal structures found only in metals that cooled for millions of years in space. Ancient Egyptians prized these beads, believing they held magical divine properties. Some even saw them as gifts from the gods, worn as protective charms. Further discoveries suggest Egyptians actively collected meteorite fragments, crafting them into amulets and sacred scarabs. Long before iron tools were even a concept, they were wearing pieces of the cosmos, proving that their connection to the stars wasn't just symbolic, but tangible. Number 1. The ring engraved with the god. In the ruins of Amarna, the short-lived capital of Pharaoh Akhenaten, archaeologists uncovered a golden ring bearing the image of Bes, the Egyptian god of fun, music, and mischief. While most deities were grand and majestic, Bes was short, stout, and full of personality. Unlike the solemn gods worshipped in towering temples, Bes had a very different role. He was believed to ward off evil, bring good luck, and even protect pregnant women. Ancient Egyptians wore charms of his grinning face for protection, and he was often depicted dancing and playing instruments. But Bes wasn't just about good vibes. His image was also used by entertainers, musicians, and even prostitutes, as he was thought to enhance pleasure and ward off misfortune. The discovery of this ring in a burial site tied to Pharaoh Akhenaten's court suggests that even amid radical religious reforms, the Egyptian people held on to their love for the old gods, especially the ones who knew how to have a good time. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you soon in the next one.